When a large winter storm hits the Midwest, two strangers must work together to get home to Chicago in time for Thanksgiving dinner. To me, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is the perfect Thanksgiving movie. I watch it almost every single year, and if I'm flipping through the channels and I see it on, I have to watch it even if it's not during the holidays. This is a John Hughes movie, and I can't pick a favorite John Hughes movie because all of them kind of encapsulate what the vibe of the 80s was like to me. The plot of the movie is basically the traveling odd couple. Both of our leads have a singular goal, and they will do whatever it takes to achieve that goal. There aren't really a whole lot of twists or turns throughout Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. The movie is just chugging towards Thanksgiving dinner. Now Neil, portrayed by Steve Martin, is a successful businessman with a loving wife and 2 children. He's a little uptight, and as odd as it sounds, he doesn't want to wash his face with another man's dirty underwear. Now to me, Steve Martin has always been kind of goofy. His stand-up routines, even when I was a kid, were a little too goofy for me, and I didn't find them very funny. I really liked The Jerk and some of his other movies from the 80s and early 90s, but it was rare to see him play a straight man, and in this he plays a straight man and he does it very well. Now John Candy's Dale is the polar opposite. He loves people and making new friends. He's never met a stranger. Now he's a little eccentric and he's a little annoying, but he's got a heart of gold. And as the audience, we feel Neil's frustration with Dale, because Dale is a lot to take. Now John Candy brings this character to life, and he makes us laugh a lot. He makes us feel sorry for him, and he makes us want to punch him in the face. And when I watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, I see a lot of myself in Neil, and I see a lot of myself in Dale. Now if something can go wrong, it does, and the movie's title is very apropos. Our 2 leads travel in the titular planes, trains, and automobiles. Throughout the movie, they meet a bunch of quirky characters, but the true joy of the movie is watching these 2 comedic heavyweights play off of each other. This is just plain and simple a very funny movie, and the humor comes mostly from situations and not from funny lines of dialogue. Now to me, movies that are situational hold up a lot better over time than movies with funny one-liners. And this is one of those movies that's a time capsule. They couldn't be remade today because a lot of the characters' frustrations come from the fact that they don't have easy access to credit cards. There are no cell phones. If they had those things, the movie wouldn't be that big of a deal. And in that way, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles reminds me of the great Martin Scorsese film After Hours, which came out just a couple of years before. Some of the humor isn't right in your face. Take for example the scene where Neil and Dale get a ride from a character portrayed by Dylan Baker in his big screen debut. Both Neil and Dale shake this man's hand, but they have very different experiences doing so. And it's just really quick what happens, but if you catch it, it's hilarious. Makes me laugh every single time that I watch it. A lot of time, Neil and Dale react the same way that I would react in these situations. When life hands them lemons, they make lemonade. And when that doesn't work out, they just suck it up and eat those lemons raw. It's hard for me to pick a favorite scene in this movie because there are so many great scenes. The first night in the hotel, the airport rental car counter, playing chicken with the semis, the broken car seat, pretty much any scene with the car in it in general. Or if you're more the sentimental type, the last 5 minutes is nearly perfect. Now no matter how crazy things get in this movie and how much Neil wants to distance himself from Dale, the 2 are just drawn together almost like there's some magnetic force. Now from the start, you've got a pretty good idea that things are going to work out for these 2 guys. And in my opinion, John Candy deserved an Oscar for his performance in this movie. There are scenes where I have tears of laughter running down my face, and then just with a snap, they are replaced with tears of sadness. John Candy has total control over the audience's emotions throughout this entire movie. Now one of the craziest things about this 90-minute masterpiece is that there are rumors of a 3-hour version of the movie that has been lost to time. And now that John Hughes has passed away, I don't know that we'll ever see it. In this 3-hour version of the movie, there are a lot of B and C stories that completely change the mood of the film. And there are some lines of dialogue in the movie and some remnants of some of those scenes that made it into the final cut. Knowing what the original intent of those scenes was changes the tone of the movie. It's not necessarily better or worse, it's just different, and I would love to see that director's cut of the movie. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is a formulaic buddy comedy, but the chemistry between the 2 leads pushes it right into the forefront of one of the best buddy comedies ever made. It's funny and it's heartwarming, and it's one of the best films of the 1980s. Cuddling with strangers, flossing, getting creative with 4-letter words, large underwear, making new friends, shower curtain rings, wearing a tie as a scarf.